What do you put that second half turnaround down to?
Look, we didn't do what you need to do at this level. It's kind of non-negotiable. We just weren't competitive. We didn't win our duels. We lacked intensity. We kind of, didn't deliver the things you need to at this level as the basics of the game, and we paid a price for it.
Where do you think that comes from? Was there an element of complacency?
Not really sure, but wherever it comes from, it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. It's unacceptable. At the end of the day, you've got to, like I said, you kind of understand that you're not going to win every game, but there are manners in which you lose games, and that's the first time since I've been here anyway that we've lost the game in that manner, and like I said, unacceptable.
What can you do about it going forward?
There's a lot I can do about it. That's why I'm in the role. If I couldn't do anything about it, I'd get somebody else to sit here.
Jack?
And how much the team's improved defensively this season before today? Does it hurt even more to see concede penalties again?
All of it's disappointing. Like I said, there are certain elements of this team that have been pretty consistent throughout my tenure, and that is one. We even in our sort of not so good days, we've always kind of fought and been competitive. I think that's been a sort of non-negotiable, and it's, like I said, today's the first day I actually felt like we didn't deliver in those areas. So whether that's defensively, whether that's with the ball, but like I said, it's sports as much about competition as it is anything else. And if you don't compete and you allow the opponent to overrun you in that manner, then you're not going to get anything out of it.
Did you have any sense at half time this was about to happen?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen it before, and I certainly didn't feel like that's the way the game was going to go. You understand that at 2-0, obviously they're going to come out and be, fairly aggressive in their approach. But that's not the first time we've faced that, and we've usually dealt with it pretty well. But it just, obviously today we failed to do the things we needed to do.
George?
And was there a temptation to make something before the second or third goals? It felt like Brighton were kind of building ahead of steam.
Yeah, I could have, but all these things, are totally irrelevant to me. Substitutions and all those kind of things. If you're not competitive, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get rewards. You don't deserve to win. So we didn't deserve on our second half performance, irrespective of subs or anything else, to get something out of the game. And I think if you do get something out of the game, then you're falsely rewarded, and I don't want to get falsely rewarded.
I know you're not going to want to make excuses, but it felt like you missed Saunders and Charlison two battles.
Nah. Got nothing to do with it. Absolutely zero to do with it. If we were missing them, then we wouldn't have played like we did in the first half, or we have the last few games. So it's got nothing to do with it. Like I said, there's a certain level of competitiveness you need to bring in every contest, irrespective of the level, and we didn't do that in the second 45, and rightly so. We got punished for it.
Matt?
I was going to ask, the chance that Brennan had at the end of the first half, did you feel if that had gone in, that had been that?
Look, potentially, mate. I mean, I think we probably should have put the game to bed in the first half. We certainly had the dominance and the chances, but if that just masked what I saw in the second half, then it doesn't sort of. I mean, I think that certain things will always reveal themselves over the course of time, and I've got to deal with what happened in the second half. That's much more important to me than the fact that in the first half we were that dominant, and we probably, we should have had the game done and dusted by then.
Have you learned something new about your team then,
I don't know if I learned something new, but I certainly experienced something new, which, with all these things, straight after a game you're emotional about it, but like I said, that's probably the most disappointing loss I've had since I've been here, in terms of the way we went about it, and it's something I need to assess.
Dave.
It totally amuses people. It just was so good in the first half. And just as a neutral watching, that looked like a really terrific first half performance. So the contrast is what was amusing from my perspective.
Yeah, but like I said, that's a real sort of stark reminder of what elite sport's about. That at the core of it is it's competitive, and if you're not competitive, doesn't matter how good you are or how good you think you are, you're going to trip up, And we didn't do the things that, aside from the football, we didn't do the things that we've kind of prided ourselves on to get to the position we're in.
Dave.
It's unprecedented to hear you talk like this about the team. Have you sort of said this to them in the dressing room? How do you deal with that in the heat of the moment?
Yeah, no, my feedback's always, what I believe. I don't hide things, and I'm sure that the players are disappointed, but I don't really care about that. They should be disappointed. The supporters will be disappointed. I'm disappointed, but I want them to understand disappointment is not about losing a game of football, because that happens. The disappointment comes from us not doing, the very basics of what's expected when you're, at the highest level from a competitive standpoint.
Final one at the back, please.
And you said it's kind of about not being as good as you think you are. Does that kind of suggest after a couple of positive results and playing so well in that first half that it was maybe overconfidence from the players?
Yeah, it's not a couple of positive results, it was 5 wins. Let's just keep things in perspective here, and I understand the extremes of what we do. What I'm saying is that we didn't do the basics of everything we've done to get to this point, good, bad or otherwise. So even, when we didn't win at Newcastle, but we played well. And we fought hard to the last second to try and win that game of football. We didn't do that today. And every time we've played, that's been an element of our game where I felt that was in. I didn't see that today. So why has that happened? The reasons, well, we can go into a million, sort of aspects of it. And in the cold light of day, there may be some logic to it, and may even be what you're saying. Again, for me, that's irrelevant. It's for me to address and fix. The responsibility falls at my feet, and that's what I need to do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.